Hello, Zine friends and people I haven't even met yet, but let's be friends. My goodness. Welcome to Q&A. Another Q&A. Yay. And is she wearing the same stuff she wore in Happy Mail? Yes, I am. Batch recording for the win. Yes, I am. Okay, so a couple weeks ago at this point, I put out a call for questions. I feel like doing a Q&A, or I've been thinking about doing a Q&A. Do you have any questions you want to ask me? So on, so forth, and whatnot. Now, recently with Billy doing his live stream, it got me thinking, oh, I could take those questions and I could do a live stream, and how awesome would that be? And I do think it would be awesome, and I do plan on doing live stream sometime in the future, but I figured it's already been long enough since people have asked me the questions for the Q&A, and I just thought, well, there might be more questions in the future, that sort of thing. I didn't want anybody to keep waiting, basically, for me to get around to answering these questions. So here I am, and this is going to be probably a two-parter. I got a bunch of questions in. I got about 10 questions from True Zine we're in. And so yes, I have to at least split it up into two. So this isn't like a 2-hour video. It's probably going to be a good long one, but I will make it into 3 on the fly, if necessary, because this is just completely unscripted. I don't even have notes for these questions. I wrote them all down, and I separated out video 1 and video 2, and that's about as far as I got. And I just thought, you know what? It's a gorgeous day. The sun is shining. I have the time. I have the questions, and I hope I have the answers. So yes, here we are with part 1. So yes, why don't we just get started, because I think all of the announcements I had to make were in the Happy Mail video, as in I'm getting some lights, and the next episode of the podcast, whenever it comes, will be about Zines, and yeah, that's about it. So thank you to everyone who sent in questions. I really appreciate it. I find that Q&As make life a little bit easier. Sometimes when I want to create something, when I want to be communicating with you and talking about zines and everything, Q&As make it a lot easier to give me direction and so on and so forth. So even though it did take me a couple weeks to finally make this video, here we are. So Q&As, and never ever it may take me a while, because I'm me, and I always have a huge to-do list and all that stuff, but never feel shy about sending me questions at any point. If you want it to be in a video, just specify you'd like it to be in a video, or if you'd say, oh yeah, I'd love you to do a podcast on this, so, as long as you have the patience to wait for your fluffy zine enthusiasts to get to doing the things, yeah, I'm always happy to receive suggestions and things like that, and all that good stuff. So with these questions, I kind of did like full gamut, like, what do you want to know about? Like, it can be about zines. I don't know all of the things about all of the zines, but if I don't know, I'll try to. Obviously, I'm pointing in the right direction of a website or a person who may be better equipped to handle the answer, the question, etc. Blah blah blah. I'm so rambling. I have nothing scripted. Usually I have at least some notes or something. Usually I only do fully unscripted on Happy Mail Monday. Okay, so yes, thank you for all the questions. Full gamut. It was any questions about me or my life or zines or zine life or anything, and most of the questions focused on zines, but I did like that I got got a different one, and I wanted to start off with that one because it's nice. It's a nice warm-up question, and the first question came on Instagram from Amber is Blue, and they asked, What TV show should I watch next? I'm so bored. Oh my goodness. TV show. Oh my goodness. First of all the feels for everyone out there who's dealing with boredom and feeling uncreative and all of those that sphere of those feelings with lockdowns and illnesses and stress and all that stuff, all the feels for that. Let's see, what show? I find myself gravitating towards things I've already watched, actually. I know there's always a lot of new and exciting and the things, but I'm just finding the comfort of familiarity trumping the being more worth than the excitement of new things, and maybe that makes me boring. I'm probably boring. But yes, that said, I kind of been going back to old things like they're not shows, but the Studio Ghibli movies. A lot of them have a lot of feels though, so definitely be forewarned. There's a lot of feels that happen in those movies, so just be cautious. But like my favorites are probably like Howl's Moving Castle, Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind, Spirited Away, The Cat Returns, those sorts of things. Let's see, but TV shows. I've gone back a bit to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, the first one. I haven't watched all the Korra ones, but yeah, I have watched more than once all of the Avatar early ones. So those, if you're into cartoons. Oh, other shows. Okay, so I had to go check, but because I couldn't remember the name of it. But there's an older show, oldish. I'm not for sure when it aired, but it's called Eureka, and it goes on for 3-4 seasons, I think. And there's some kicky in the feels moments and stuff like that. But I quite enjoyed the show. It's intelligent. It's quite funny. There's not a lot of upsetting material, at least for me personally. So yes, Eureka, if you can find it. I quite like that. It's hard for me to recommend anything because I feel like shows and music and all those, and even books, it just feels so like personal, and like if someone doesn't like the thing I suggested, I feel bad for wasting their time, and psychology, right? So yes, Studio Ghibli films, if you want movies, Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you're into cartoons, very well thought out, very well written cartoons. Eureka, if you can find it, just as a fun sort of thing. I'd say if you're like into kind of crime shows, that sort of thing, I also would recommend The Blacklist. First couple of seasons, the writing got a bit wonky in a few of the seasons, but the early ones are good. I quite enjoyed those. So yeah, those are my recommendations. I hope they help. I wish I had like a big long list, but I don't. I do a lot of work and things around YouTube, so a lot of my, and with the things that have been happening lately, I've been watching a lot of informational videos. Anyway, so yes, I hope that helps. Amber, if it doesn't, let me know, and I can actually sit down and think about it more rather than an unscripted response. So I hope that helps, and thank you, Amber, for the question. Alrighty, so Shelly on Facebook has asked a few questions that all go together. Have you investigated the town city of Murray Bridge for zine activity? And if so, what have you found? I've always been curious about your town because I thoroughly invested my county in California trying to find any zine activity. I eventually found a couple of zinesters who lived and made zines here, and a used bookstore that had a lot of actual zines, and a comic book shop that sold a very small number of zines, more like DIY comics, and the libraries have some books about zines. So I wonder if what Murray Bridge has, if anything. Has there ever been a Zine Fest in Murray Bridge? What is the closest Zine Fest to Murray Bridge? So, unpacking that a little bit. I haven't done a lot of super thorough investigations by any means. Murray Bridge is a decent size for a town, but is still relatively small. We do have an art gallery, and the art gallery hosted the oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of it. The self-made traveling art exhibition. I think it was called the Self-Made, that had a lot of zines and a zine section in there as well. And they had like a Zine Library, and they had gave a grant to a local creator who made things for the show and everything. That was quite nice. So it's there are no Zine Fests specifically in Murray Bridge. I haven't really investigated the library as far as zine books go. It's a fairly small library, but you never know. I have a lot of zine books behind me, which is why I haven't investigated locally in the library. Yeah, so I mean, I definitely think virus aside, that Murray Bridge definitely has a lot of potential for things like a Zine Fest and whatnot, because it is a bit of a hub for a lot of smaller towns around, so you never know. But yeah, nothing yet, nothing as of yet. What's the closest Zine Fest to Murray Bridge? There was the Xena Warrior Print Fest, I think, was one, and then there's see, this is why I should write notes. This is why I shouldn't do things completely unscripted. There was another one that they were able to do a couple of Zine Fests before everything happened, and I just can't remember the name off the top of my head. So Adelaide, which is about an hour or so from Murray Bridge, is probably the closest place with any sort of zine activity. So, but you never know what the future may bring. Who knows? Anyway, so thank you, Shelley, for the question. And next up from Instagram, from Chaudhry's Den. Now, please forgive me if I've mispronounced that. You've been so kind and nice to me, and I'm paranoid that I've got your name mispronounced. But anyway, they asked any zine subscriptions you can recommend. Now, I don't currently have any. Oh wait, I do have a zine subscription. I was going to say I don't currently have one, but I just recently signed up to Feral Publication. His comic is his monthly comic subscription. It hasn't arrived yet, but I'm very eagerly awaiting it. I'm so excited. I love the idea of subscriptions and all of that good stuff. But that is my first subscription. I know that Zine-O-Matic a couple of years ago, like 4 years ago, oh my goodness, Zine-O-Matic very kindly sent me one month, sent me one of their envelopes full of zine goodness, which was amazing and cool, and I quite liked that. And I haven't checked in on them for a very long time, so I'd hope that they're still going. So Zine-O-Matic, I think, would be based in the US, but I think it's a good way, be a good place to start. It's like immersing yourself in all sorts of zines from all over the place. At one point, they actually they put in a lot of effort and worked with me to create and print Bujo, one of probably my biggest, most complex zine I've ever made. They printed that over there. It was very, very kind of them to work with me and everything, because international sizes, US sizes, all that stuff. I won't get into that, but yeah, Zine-O-Matic, Feral Publication. Something is tingling in the back of my head. I think like a few people have like Patreon based subscriptions, so that's definitely have a look around on Patreon to see if there's anybody you'd like to support regularly. There are quite a few zine makers who have been on or are starting to get on to Patreon. I might do some more research into that, because I do really like the subscription model, especially the because it's rather APA-ish. An APA is an Alternative Press Association, in which all members, you become a member, you pay your fee, and like everybody sends something in, and then everybody gets one copy of what everybody sent in. Another thing to do a podcast on. But yes, those are the two that come to mind immediately. I don't think Australia has any subscriptions as such, but it's been a long time since I've investigated into that. I usually try to keep an eye on those sorts of things. But yeah, so places to start, and if I can, I will do some digging around and see if I can find more, and if I do, they'll be in the description. So thank you very much for the question. Forgive the cut, but I did a wee bit of adjusting, because I don't know if it's not sitting up as much. But anyway, so the next few questions are from Shelly on Facebook, and the next question is, what is the seagreenzines and True Zine Marin Zine Library? Now, that is a zine library that I'm setting up with True Zine Marin. Now, it's been a back burner project for quite a long time now. I have a lot of zines for it. I do want to open a zine library. I'd like to have a digital component to that too, though I'm not quite sure how that even work just yet, or if it would work. But yes, it's all part of the the umbrella that I want seagreenzines to be. I want there to be the website, the reviews, the YouTube channel, the distro, and a library as well. I think zine libraries are very valuable, especially as far as like letting people experience things for free. It's just especially these days, it's really important to be able to get the word out and share things in a way that's as accessible as possible to as many people as possible. Yes, it's a project, but it's it's still quite a future project while I'm doing things like rebuilding the distro and just trying to get life a bit more organized. But yes, there is a zine library hovering in the wings of the Sea Green Zine section of the Zineverse. So that's what that is. So if you have a if you have a sticker for the zine library, that's what that's all about. Thank you for the question. And yes, let's see, the next next 4 questions are all from Shelly on Facebook, so I will keep on rolling. Will you be updating your list of ZineWriMo prompts this year? Yes, I will. November is coming, my friends, and November is ZineWriMo month. And if you're not familiar, ZineWriMo is something that started a few years ago. People think I started it. I didn't start it. It was started by, oh my goodness, I know their name too, and I feel really bad. They started the idea of it, and I jumped in and said, okay, I'll do the prompts list. And so I've been responsible for the daily prompts list. Now, if you're not familiar, I think I already said that, didn't I? ZineWriMo is the zine maker's answer to NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. So ZineWriMo is all about zines, and it's very International Zine Month-esque in that there are daily activities and stuff and things like that. However, it's a very busy time of year, very stressed time of year. So what I try to focus on for prompts are, working on what you already have on progress, and as far as making zines goes, making mini zines, which tend to be a little less time consuming than other size zines, that sort of thing. I try to have a month of prompts, but relaxed. Nothing to get stressed about, because goodness knows there's enough to stress about in the world without stressing out about ZineWriMo. So yes, I will be updating the prompts list that is already on my to-do list, because I do not want to forget by any means. Oh my goodness. And thank you for the reminder, because goodness knows getting those things done early rather than late would be very, 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 very good. So yes, the answer is a big yes. And after that we have you played the Zine card game by Billy yet? I have it too. How could we play a game together online? Now, another, if you're not familiar, the Zine game by Billy. I have it right here. The one bit of preparation I did for this Q&A is having the Zine game nearby. Now this is a real card game. Like, this is like real nice cardboard box, like instruction guide. Like, check this out. This is, how cool is this? This is amazing. And then we have, of course, the zine cards involved. And I'll just pop out some of these cards for you. And Billy explains it more. I think Billy has a video on it as well. I'll have to dig around and see if I can find it. But you have all sorts of things like plus 10, plus 15 for silly drawings, and bonus if it's played with another card, that sort of thing. Now, I haven't actually read the directions yet, so I'm not sure how it all goes, but it reminds me so much of Flux that I already love it a bit. I have no idea if it's even like Flux, but we shall see. And then we have like, ooh, caught stealing copies. Uh-oh, bonus card. So you have bonus cards, and then you have like, I guess I'd call it element cards, like sewing machine, binder card. And these are like, let's see if we can, like, these are like playing cards. They're gorgeous. So well made. So much fun. So no, I have not played it yet, but I want to. As far as playing online, I think that would have to be like a Skype thing, and then both people involved would have to have the game, and then it'd be complicated, but it would be possible. But yeah, it'd have to be like a live Skype thing, or like, yeah. Anyway, I'll have to think about that. But yes, that is the Zine game by Billy. Very, very cool stuff. So yes, there's that. Now, if someone else financed it, would you consider opening up a zine shop where you live, or a combo of a zine shop plus something else like a coffee shop or a zine library? Is that something you dream of doing, or do you prefer to do online stuff only? Ooh, that's a big question. Pardon me for the water break. Woo! Anyway, so yes, that is a very big question. At this point in my life, I like, in my personal life, I'm feeling very, I don't know if I want to say restless or anything, but I'm not sure where I am going to end up as such, whether I'm going to stay in Bridge, go to Adelaide, go to a different country. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Like, I could quite literally end up back in the States. I could end up in the UK. I could end up just staying here. I could go to Melbourne. Like, there are so many different things that I have to figure out with my life right now. So as far as opening up like a zine shop and stuff like that, like, that would be my big hesitation for like opening something up right now. But I'm definitely not just like, it's online and it's online only. I would love to eventually have a little distro that's also a coffee shop. That would be amazing. Like a comfy chill out space where people can, like, there'd be a Zine Library section where people could check out zines, and then of course there'd be a sales section where people could buy zines and things. I would love to do that. I'd definitely consider it, but it would take a lot of preparation, because there are taxes, there's rent, there's and then there's there was the coffee shop element. You'd need licenses for food and things like that, and then you'd have to hire a barista, which means there are salaries, and it'd be very complicated. But yes, like I'm not strict, like I'm strictly online right now because it's the only thing that's really practical in my life, and only thing that's really doable in my life. But as far as dreams go, then certainly I'd love to have a little zine cafe, the Zine Bean Shop. Zine Beans, maybe I'd call it that. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna dream big, right? And yeah, who knows where things will be in 3, 5, 10 years? Who knows at all? So it's not even necessarily if someone else financed it, though. That would certainly make it happen a lot sooner. 2020 has taken a lot out of me, as evidenced by videos I've made about it so far this year. So I guess I've done a lot less streaming than I usually do, but the possibility of creating a true encompassing business out of seagreenzines would be absolutely brilliant and wonderful. And yeah, I'd like to keep dreaming of that. Little shop, physical distro, online distro, coffees would have to be involved, I reckon. That sort of thing. Yeah, so yeah, keep dreaming. Absolutely. The short answer after the long answer is yes. Absolutely, I'd consider it. I'm just the kind of person who would have to research the heck out of all the things and be absolutely certain that wherever I open the shop, that is where I'd be settling down in my life for a good amount of time. So big complex questions and considerations to make with those things, but other than that, yeah, dream big, right? Lovely question though. It's got me thinking. Quite appreciate thinking that. Pardon me. And then last from Shelley is, what is the most challenging thing about running a zine distro? And what is the hardest part or the thing that's the biggest drag for you? Now, I've thought about doing a podcast about running a distro as well. So I definitely get into that in the future. But off the top of my head, the challenging thing about running a distro... Well, the challenging thing, the drag thing that for me right now is the shipping stuff. It drives me bonkers. It's so annoying because I feel like when I finally have everything figured out as far as shipping goes, Australia Post puts up the prices or they change the way they do things, or just recently they've decided that their prepaid parcel pouches now, they've always been expensive, but I've never complained because it made weight-based shipping really easy. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, some things were odd sizes and stuff like that, but it was an occasional annoyance for the greater good of the ease of setting up shipping in an online shop. P.S. Etsy, get weight-based shipping, please. Anyway. So shipping costs, all the data entry involved in setting things up in WooCommerce and just shipping in general, it's such a bugbear for me. I just want to send the zines, and some people take the approach of they do free shipping across the board and just add some extra onto the list price. And while I like that approach, it certainly brings some simplicity into the whole thing. I won't do it that way just because of the international versus domestic element. Either I'm undercharging for international or I'm overcharging for domestic, and either way I don't want to put myself in strife, and I don't want to punish anyone for being domestically located. So it's a pickle. It's shipping through and through. Like stock management, I got it. Creating things, I got it. Organization, I love organization. Even though I'm not very organized. There's a lot I love about distro stuff. I have always been like a business oriented person, guess it in my blood a bit. I keep if you're wondering what I'm looking at, I keep looking at my setup for organizing all the zines I have. So that's what I'm doing, looking over there. But yes, shipping, and a lot of the facets to do with shipping. That would be the biggest drag and the biggest challenge. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the question, though. Oh my goodness, it's definitely, like, I like thinking about these things. I like talking about these things. I don't usually, it's just like, oh, shipping, pain in the butt, you know. But sharing is caring, and sharing helps release some of the stress as well. So I'm actually going to save this card and put it over here as well, because yes, I should do a podcast episode about distros. And so we've been going for a bit already. So to wrap up this this part 1 of the Q&A, we have Craig on Instagram, Craig aka 5 o'clock zine. Are you going to publish other people's zines for your distro? 100%. Yep. 100%. I meant to actually get that sort of thing, that side of things started earlier this year, but then I had the website transfer, which made the distro go up in a puff of smoke. And then lots of personal stuff happened and stuff like that. But absolutely, I know that I've talked about it with Billy, and I know I've talked about it with Craig and with Ryan, of Pocket Thoughts. And the idea that we could sort of set up international printing hubs, that sort of thing, so we can print each other's zines. I really like this idea. Once I'm a bit more organized, I want to explore it more and that sort of thing, because I'd love to be able to just to have Ryan zines or Craig zines or Billy zines. Like, I'd love to be able to just print them, like pay them a fee and then print them here as needed, rather than dealing with all the postage from them to me, because I think that not only is it easier, I mean, granted it's a little bit more work for the person doing the printing, but at the same time it helps the person getting the zines, because like, a lot of zine creators aren't out there to make a profit, but we still have to eat. We still have to pay bills. We still have to pay rents or mortgages or things like that. And so if we could do this sort of like print hub sort of thing, like a linked international distro, there's a word I'm thinking of, but anyway, like Ryan has a distro in Canada, and I have a distro for Australia, and Craig has a distro for Japan, and that sort of thing. If we have these hubs and can do it that way, that saves postage from them to me, and thus makes it more affordable from anybody buying from me or buying my stuff from them, or so on and so forth. The tricky part, of course, is definitely the international paper sizes versus US paper sizes, but that's something we can work on. Anyway, I talked a little bit more about that than I intended to. But actually, I'm going to save that one as well, because that gives me ideas for that podcast. So yes, more podcasts will happen, and will happen this year if I can just... I'll figure it out. I'm thinking of Isa. Did I say it? A Canadian friend, Straight Heart. I'm thinking of Straight Heart. I'm talking about requesting more episodes of the podcast. So yes, anyway, have that on my mind. But the answer to Craig is yes, I definitely plan on publishing others' zines for my distro, and I'm assuming that you meant by publishing as in like printing on my own. You might have meant publishing zines as in becoming a zine publisher, like It's in my head. I can see the logo. Johnny B. Baker. Oh, Budget Press. That's it. Took me a while, but I got there. Budget Press is a zine publisher, as in you submit your work. I haven't actually gone through the process myself, so I'm not sure exactly how it works or how similar it is to traditional book publishing. But if you meant like publishing as in Budget Press is a zine publisher, that's definitely something I'd consider as well. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, definitely in the future, I'd love to. But if I was going to do it, I'd like to offer more options, and so I'd have to get a better printer and probably upgrade my computer, my software, and lots of things. So there'd be a lot to consider. But becoming a zine publisher, definitely, in that aspect, would definitely be like it would make sense for my life trajectory, if you will, because I do have a background in professional writing and editing, so I do like the idea of it. So many ideas, but I'm going to wrap things up there because those last couple of questions, I think, shot the time way over. Anyway, not that, there was a time limit as such, but yes, I'm going to wrap up the questions there. There will be another part 2 and possibly a part 3 for more questions from all the various people who send in questions. Thank you. And yes, thank you for everyone who submitted questions, and always thank you for anybody who's watching. If you have additional questions about the things, please feel free to email me. Email is good for questions and that sort of thing, because even though I'm not good at responding very promptly, very quickly, it's right there. It's right there, so I remember to do it and everything. So yes, thank you so very much for everyone, for all of the things. I will be back soonest with the next part, possibly tomorrow, with the next part of the Q&A. So until next time, thank you. Ask questions, make zines, connect with other zine makers, send some mail, spread a little sunshine, or a lot. Happy spring. Until next time. Mwah. I have to admit that one thing I really like about Q&As is that there are things where I don't think I have a lot to say on something, but then I start talking about it and just oh my goodness. She does know something. She does have a thing or two to say.